Alrighty folks, this is Lurch from Ireland Gaming and welcome to episode 6 of the Back to Basics series, where we're going to be talking about local weapon controllers and weapon AI. But first, we're going to talk about something that I should probably have mentioned in the very first video. Save early and save often. Let's save the vehicle now, because I've already done a little bit of work here. It's something to show off to you in a second. This is my save folder. We've got a whole bunch of folders. I have quite a few blueprints that I've built up over my FTD career. Let's get into our tutorial vehicle section and the boat tutorial. Now this is on step 5, we're actually on step 6, so let's press step 6, weapon AI. Do this all the time. Every time you make a major change, every time you're about to make a major change, every time you think, I should probably save the game, every time you forget, I should probably save the game. Save the game! Always save the game, because you'll lose stuff. It's a good idea. But let's get on to the actual content of the video. These are local weapon controllers, this funky little block here. Let's place another one. And these are a couple of examples of how to place them and how not to place them. These on the left, this is how not to place them. Never ever 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 put your turret directly on top of a local weapon controller. The reason is, if you look at the health for the block, it's only 75. It's absolutely pathetic. A metal block, on the other hand, has 280 health and 10 armor. Makes a big ass difference to how survivable your turret is. It's also probably not worthwhile putting them here either, because you can at least get a little bit of armor around them. The reason for this is local weapon controllers actually have a range of 2. If I put this here, it won't work. It has to be 2 in a straight direction, in all of the 6 cardinal directions. So this one here is able to control both weapons, as you can see with the information in the top right, but it has no mainframe connected. We're going to talk about that next. It's a good idea to keep your turrets on metal at least, to keep them nice and well armoured, and have armour around them too, around the turret base, because it is really, really important. Let's get rid of this. See ya! Let's use our caps lock key to raise our dry dock and bring this guy up a little bit. One thing I didn't mention in the last video is these explosive warheads are actually, well, explosive, shock horror, whenever they get destroyed. So you want to keep your AI maybe a little bit farther away from them. The way I built this turret, we have all of our ammo boxes on the front of the turret. So let's put our local weapon controller here. Because the turret is only 2 blocks away, it's able to sit there nicely and control the turret just fine. The reason this turret is a 3x3 section is 3x3 turrets are actually able to turn within a 3x3 space. Let us take a little bit of extra armor, just to make sure our turret doesn't die, and put some, no, that's a slope, I want a beam. Let's not forget our symmetry mode, and put a little bit of armor around the side of our turret here. It's always a good idea to keep these things well protected. We'll close it off at the back, and I'll close it off a little bit here at the front. Let's put one up there as well. The local weapon controller here is able to connect to the turret just fine. And if we grab Rambot, where are you buddy? There he is. Let's find our turret. You'll see that even though that box is sort of completely encapsulated, it's actually able to turn just fine. It's just the way that spin block mechanics work in this game. This is a good way to keep a 3x3 turret at least a little bit armoured, and makes them survive a bit longer. And we still have room for a local weapon controller at the front, so let's get back to that. Aside from just a local weapon controller, you're probably going to want a failsafe on this as well. I've just realised I'm probably actually going to have to take away some of this. Failsafes can only be applied to the side of a local weapon controller. They can't go on the top. As you can see there, not connected. We put it on here, it will actually still say it's not connected because we need an AI mainframe, and that's the next step. We're going to put an AI mainframe on here, and that's just connected directly to the local weapon controller. There's also wireless options available, but we'll talk about them in future videos. For now, we're just going to attach the AI directly onto the local weapon controller. It's maybe not the safest place in the world for it, but it'll do just fine for now. If the turret gets destroyed, this AI is useless anyway. We're going to take an AI card slot left and right. These different card slots, and there is also a front and back variety, you can see here, allow you to plug different AI settings into your AI, and it does different things. For this cannon, we want a target prioritization card and an aim point selection card. The aim point selection card allows the AI to target specific things on other vehicles. It sort of prioritizes shooting at ammo boxes and AI and other sort of sensitive components. It gives it a little bit more direction whenever it's shooting at its targets. We also probably want a target prioritization. This one is a little bit different. This prioritizes the ship that the cannon aims at. So if we set this value to crew and player to maximum, that doesn't make the cannon any more likely to target a crew or a player. It means that it will target ships that have crew or player on them. We don't really need that. This cannon is pretty slow firing. It's got a low refire rate and it's got a really slow shell. We'll probably want to set the value per speed down a little bit so that it doesn't shoot at fast targets. It also doesn't really benefit from shooting at things in the air. So let's just leave this totally neutral so it kind of ignores them. The rest of the things on the list can probably stay mostly default. Target prioritization cards are not always necessary for cannons, but they do help now and again. For cram cannons, they kind of help you to prioritize a target that they're more likely to hit, and that never hurts. Well, it hurts your enemies. That's actually now a fully functional AI for this cram cannon, and it should do a pretty good job. We're going to set up another AI for the missile controller here, and then we're going to spawn in some enemies. And you can see them firing. Now, let's set our AI up first, or our local weapon controller up first. It doesn't actually let me attach this here, which is kind of irritating. But we can do sort of some sneaky ways to get something to fit where it's not supposed to. This local weapon controller, I'll just place it here, and we're going to get a new prefab. Set them all to 1 and grab the little single block. With prefabs, you can pretty much place blocks wherever you want. I'm just placing them in the air there, we're making a real mess. But it also means that you can kind of place them places they're not supposed to be, and they'll stick just fine. Let's get rid of this guy, and it means that we have a nice good place for our AI to go, probably on top here. There's an AI mainframe sorted out, and that's it, all well and good. Now, we could put a card slot machine on this, or slot machine, a card machine on this, and maybe put target prioritization on. In fact, let's use the other one. If we use a front and back card, it means we can keep it nice and symmetrical. We only actually need one card for this. The prioritization card will allow us to shoot primarily at, probably faster targets, and maybe prioritize aircraft, just so that they get aimed at first and shot down. That could be really beneficial for this craft, and it means that the two different weapon systems won't fight over their targets. Not that that matters, the target just dies faster. Now, after that simple addition, we have a fully functional missile launcher. Bear in mind that whenever you're placing your local weapon controller, if they're placed on the hull, you have to place beside the firing piece or the controller block of your weapon. This is really important. You can still place it within 2 blocks, just like I showed you at the start. If you want to, you can actually put the local weapon controller on the turret and use wireless, but we'll talk about that later. Right now, I think it's time to test our new guns. So let's spawn new enemies in. You can press X whenever you're in the vehicle designer and it will bring up a big list of all of the ships in the campaign that you can spawn in and play with if you want. I'm going to spawn in a Kalmar. It's a fairly slow moving deepwater guard ship and quite weak, but because our ship isn't finished yet, there's another benefit of playing in the vehicle designer too. You can actually turn the AI off on enemy vehicles, and this is a great opportunity to test things. Oh, there we go. Our new cannon is doing a pretty good job of sending us backwards there. But you'll see, if you look in the bottom left, I'm not controlling the weapons. They're doing this all by themselves. Yowza. And there's a nice stream of missiles coming in as well. These frag missiles do a pretty good job of messing up the inside of the hull. There's a hole straight out the other side. But that's roughly how you set up the basics of an AI system. I do hope you enjoyed the episode. Any likes, subs or comments are really awesome. I love hearing from you guys and I read every single comment. As always, take it handy and have a bloody good day.